Hey guys, it's Emma Vigling with TYT Politics, and I'm a little bit fired up about this one because the Democrats are once again proving that they've learned nothing from this disastrous election. So let's rant, shall we? The DNC chair fight is basically coming down to a two-horse race between Tom Perez and Keith Ellison. Keith Ellison is the leading candidate for progressives. He's certainly not perfect, but he has been endorsed by Bernie Sanders. He is the head of the Progressive Caucus, which was founded by Bernie Sanders back in 1991 when he was in the House. And he also has been endorsed by Chuck Schumer. Chuck Schumer is not known as a progressive, to say the least, but I think he has read the political tea leaves, or he did, and knows that that's the direction in which the party is going to be going, hopefully, if it isn't bogged down by people like Tom Perez. Tom Perez is the leading establishment figure. He has been quietly endorsed behind the scenes by Barack Obama, President Barack Obama. Hey, Obama, I thought that you were going to be apolitical post-presidency. Oh no, I forgot. You're only apolitical when you want to not criticize Donald Trump or stand up for your legacy, but you want to influence how the Democratic National Committee is going to be run. Weren't you part of the reason that the DNC is completely gutted when you took out Howard Dean, who implemented a 50-state strategy and was, by the way, instrumental in your victory in 2008, and you put in Debbie Wasserman Schultz so she could fundraise down in Florida, and then she started accepting lobbyist money? Wasn't that your decision? And there were the Democrats only held the House and the Senate and the presidency, and we only had a supermajority for 2 years. So I don't really think that you have a say anymore in how the DNC is going to be run. So go and do whatever you want to do in Washington and stay apolitical, not just about Trump, but about the Democrats too. We don't need your leadership anymore because you destroyed the DNC. And President Obama, I praise you for some things, but this is outrageous that you would even pretend to have a say in what's happening, or even purport to have a say in what's happening with the DNC. Because you destroyed it. So Tom Perez, while Keith Ellison is campaigning around the Midwest, and he's not perfect, I'm saying that now, but is hosting a fundraiser. This just came out this morning in Playbook, that Tom Perez gathered roughly 250 people Thursday night for a fundraiser for his Democratic National Committee chair race. Spotted former Deputy Labor Secretary Seth Harris, Emily Lowe, blah, 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 a bunch of names. So it's not just that Tom Perez hosts a fundraiser here or there, because I wouldn't be getting up in arms with Tom Perez hosting a fundraiser, because I guess it's the new normal, corruption, but if he didn't have a pattern of behavior that was extremely troubling. So this is from The Intercept. DNC chair candidate Tom Perez refuses to support ban on corporate money and lobbyists. You don't say. The candidate endorsed by President Obama behind the scenes and the favorite of Hillary Clintonites in the Democratic Party refuses to ban lobbying money? Isn't that the exact wrong direction that we want to go in? Isn't that the reason that Hillary Clinton lost? Because Trump said she is bought and paid for, and people wanted to throw a brick through the window of the establishment that was that corrupt? But you know what? You don't get it, and you don't want to get it, because you want that yummy corporate cash, don't you? If Tom Perez wins, I will flip a lid. From The Intercept. Labor Secretary Tom Perez, one of the leading candidates for chair of the Democratic National Committee, has stumbled in recent days when asked about his position on money in politics. Asked at a DNC forum in Phoenix whether he will revive President Obama's ban on corporate donations to the DNC and a ban on appointing lobbyists as party leaders, Perez demurred. "It is actually not that simple a question," Perez responded, adding that such a move might have unintended consequences. Perez argued that such a ban might impact union members who are lobbyists, though the question explicitly only addressed corporate lobbyists. Wow, you really have a way of dancing around that question. When you're more corporatist than President Obama and the Democratic Party has no home for you. The base hates you. The base hates you. Get it through your thick skull. If you want to attract more people to the Democratic Party, stop taking corporate donations. Because you know who attracted people to the Democratic Party? Bernie Sanders. He expanded the party, and Hillary Clinton shrunk it. So maybe move towards that ideology. Speaking to the Huffington Post, Perez has refused to clarify his position on resurrecting President Obama's ban on lobbyist donations to the DNC, which was overturned by the former DNC chair, Representative Debbie Wasserman Schultz, Democrat of Florida, during Hillary Clinton's bid for the presidency. The only firm restriction on special interest money Perez has announced is that he will not accept lobbyist donations for his own campaign committee formed to support his bid for DNC chair. But even this position has come under question. So first of all, Debbie Wasserman Schultz is not really the ideological path that you want to go down, Tom Perez. Did you not know that she was fired from the position that you're running for? So maybe you want to distance yourself from her beliefs somewhat, or maybe just drop out now and do the American people a whole massive favor. The Intercept recently obtained a fundraiser invite for Team Tom, Perez's DNC chair campaign committee, for an event on January 26 in Washington, D.C. The event invite clearly prohibits lobbyist money, but the host committee, the individual sponsoring the event, included several federally registered lobbyists and individuals working in the lobbying industry. One of the event's sponsors for interest is Brian Tackett, a lobbyist with the firm Drinker, Biddle, and Reith, who is registered to lobby on a number of issues, including on issues related to the overtime rules released by the Labor Department under Perez's leadership. Reached for comment, Tackett said, "As a private citizen, I support Tom Perez's bid for DNC chair, and I failed to inform his team of my background in lobbying." Of course, you know what? I bet Perez just didn't know about your background in lobbying. I bet that you guys are basically mere strangers who have no idea about each other's jobs and personal lives. That's why he was on the flyer for his event. Give me a break. So while Perez is saying that, you know what, we should still accept lobbying money and we should be more corporatist than Obama because Obama instituted that provision. While he's doing that, Keith Ellison is going around the Midwest and getting actual grassroots support, which is the direction that the party should be going. President-elect Donald Trump won the election thanks to narrow victories in 3 historically Democratic states, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin. Yes, the Rust Belt, which Jordan and I toured and told you guys was not going to go be a slam dunk for Hillary Clinton like the Democrats were saying. Maybe in their arrogance, they should see that there's an actual hurting populace there and go reach out to them instead of doing fundraisers with Perez and his friend who doesn't do lobbying as far as he knows. Ellison publicized the endorsement of 32 prominent Wisconsin Democrats on Friday, including Senator Tammy Baldwin and no fewer than 3 of the state's 6 voting DNC members whose support he needs to win the top spot. Andrew Worthman, a city councilman in Eau Claire, Wisconsin, announced his support for Ellison that day, joining Wisconsin Democratic Party Chair Martha Lanning and Wisconsin State Rep David Bowen, who have already backed him. In addition, Michigan Democratic Party Chairman Brandon Dillon endorsed Ellison on Thursday. Wichita County Commissioner-elect Michelle Dietrich, a fellow Michigan DNC voter, was already in Ellison's corner. Ellison's boosters in these crucial swing states point to his energy and organizing acumen in explaining their decision to get behind this candidacy. His record of winning elections in Minnesota and driving up turnout in his district speaks a lot about his ability to organize. The number of voters in Ellison's Minneapolis district indeed rose by 13,000 between 2010 and 2014, at a time when Democrats drew pitiful turnout overall. That is why Keith Ellison has to win, because he understands how to organize on a grassroots level. That is what Bernie has been talking about for decades. And that's what the Democratic Party has to remember. You know, it's a little harder to do grassroots organization than to sit in the cozy boardroom and hobnob with other rich people. That's a little tougher, to get on the ground and get your hands dirty and be a community organizer like Barack Obama was, which the Republicans so derisively knock. No, going into communities, talking to people, talking about your ideas. But you know why they don't feel comfortable talking about their ideas, these corporatist Democrats? Is because their ideas suck. People like Keith Ellison, people like Bernie Sanders, they have actual ideas, actual tangible policies that can help working families. And that's why they're able to have this grassroots support. And that's what the Democratic Party has to move towards. Good ideas, and then it'll be way easier to do grassroots fundraising. So if Perez wins, you know what, DNC? You will be obliterated. We will circumvent you, and we will run our own candidates, and we will fundraise from the ground up, because we won't need you anymore. But I hope to God that Ellison gets it, because I don't want to have to do that. Have a great weekend.